The essence of strategy is knowing what not to do. Welcome to our cosmic journey, everyone. Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello, I'm Karis. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, February 16th through Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. On February 17th, the waning gibbous moon will be near the sweetest star of the heavens, Spica. Not only will the moon be near Spica, but the moon will also occult, pass in front of the sweetest star of the heavens. This will be visible in certain places around the globe. On February 18th, the moon will reach its apogee, that is the furthest away from the Earth in its elliptical orbit around the Earth. On February 20th and 21st, the waning crescent moon will be near Antares, the bright red star that is in the heart of the Scorpion. Also, the moon will be near what is known as the crown of the Scorpion. The constellation Scorpius is easy to spot. The constellation looks like a huge letter J in the sky with Antares, the red star, in the center of it, and also the three bright stars that make up the crown at the top of the letter J. The three stars that make up the crown of Scorpius are Akrab, Dashavas, and I love this one, Fang. I'm laughing at the name Fang because back in the day there was a trailblazing, incredible, talented comedian named Phyllis Diller. And in her routine, her comedy routine, she would refer to her husband as Fang, F-A-N-G. So the fact that Fang, there's a star named Fang in the constellation Scorpion, wouldn't you know, just makes my heart smile so much. Phyllis Diller was a trailblazer for stand-up female comedians in the 50s and early 60s. It just wasn't done. She was married with children and in her 30s, and it was her dream to become a comedian. She talks about how she read a book called The Magic of Believing. You can see her yourself on YouTube doing an interview about it. And to be a mom of children, a stand-up comedian, but this was her dream. She was in her 30s. At that time, to be in your 30s and approaching 40, that was a whole other cultural age block. But she believed and she made her dream come true. And again, just what an iconic talent. She was a comedian, an actress, a painter, played the piano, a trailblazer. So I'm sure she's smiling somewhere in the heavens knowing that Fang has a star named after him in the constellation Scorpio. You can always see her in her videos and her comedy on all the television shows as such on YouTube. Also, The Magic of Believing, where she talks about how reading the book, The Magic of Believing, helped her to believe in herself and make her dreams come true. Phyllis Diller, when it comes to comedy and stand-up female comedians, she was, is, and always will be the OG. The 7 original planets first used in astrology, or the OGs as I call them, that you can see without aid of binoculars or telescope, just like the original first astrologers did, they are starting off the week lined up as such. We've got the sun in fixed air Aquarius ruled by Saturn. The moon is in cardinal air Libra ruled by Venus. Mercury now in Pisces is in its fall and detrimental placement. Venus is in its detriment in the sign of Aries ruled by Mars. Mars is in its fall in the sign of cardinal water Cancer. Jupiter is in its detriment in Gemini ruled by Mercury. And Saturn is in Pisces ruled by Jupiter. Sunday, February 16th, the moon is now waning. It's decreasing in its light and energy. We are softening up, coming down from that very intense full moon in Leo. The waning moon, as we start off the week, is in cardinal air Libra. Your need and what you're wanting with the moon in Libra is to bring something back into balance in your life. This is what you're trying to figure out in your mind with the moon in air Libra. Libra is always assessing, adjusting, changing, trying to bring that balance back. It doesn't mean that the sign of Libra is balanced all of the time. Libra is trying to find that balance. And Libra being a cardinal sign of the zodiac, which is you're trying to figure out what you want, is to begin something that will bring a balance back into your mind. Libra can seem to be a very argumentative sign of the zodiac, because Libra will look at all different sides to a situation, all the different angles, balancing and adjusting. This is the moon in Libra in conjunct Saturn in Pisces. How can you make this work? How can you make something very solid, Saturn, in your life? Something that has to do with your dream, your vision, because it's the Saturn in Pisces, which is the dream and the vision. Pisces being emotional, it's water. So trying to bring an even keel, emotional balance into your life, connected to how you can make something work and make it solid and real. This is how we are starting off the week with our emotional need, moon in Libra, in conjunct adjusting, trying to figure out the changes in our mind and the adjustments we need to make to be more emotionally, Saturn in Pisces, and intellectually balanced. This balance between water and air, Libra and Pisces, two elements of the zodiac that are not naturally an easy flow. They're not naturally compatible. So this is how the week starts off with the moon, what you want, what you need, especially in relationship, because Libra is the sign of love, marriage, and relationship. Figuring out where do I need to make changes and adjustments to bring more emotional peace to your mind and your emotions in your life, and particularly in the area of relationship. Because Libra is love and marriage, and Saturn is the planet that is connected to career and accomplishing things in your career. One of the things that could be very prominent for you as we start off the week is how are you making the adjustments and bringing into balance your emotional need for love and relationship, moon in Libra, and balance that with Saturn, career goals, the work, life, marriage adjustments that are needing to be made. The moon in Libra in conjunct Saturn can be how you, in a marriage, in a couple, can make both of your dreams come true within the relationship. The moon in Libra then makes an opposition aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries. This is the I versus we component. How you see yourself and have your own identity as an individual as you are within the couple, the marriage, love relationship. Sometimes in a relationship, in a marriage, a person can feel like they gave so much or devoted so much time and energy to the marriage that they start to feel like they lost their core sense of, well, this is me separate from the relationship. This is the Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries. Libra is adjusting and figuring this out as we start off the week. Monday, February 17th, happy President's Day, and the best shoe sale on the planet at Macy's. Everyone talks about Black Friday. Black Friday is great. But when it comes to shoes, Macy's President's Day weekend. Trust me on this one. On Monday, the moon's day, we still have the moon in Libra making in conjunct aspects. The moon makes an in conjunct to Uranus in Taurus. The moon then makes an in conjunct aspect to Neptune in Pisces. The adjustments about how to bring something down to earth with good, grounded, common sense, fixed earth Taurus, as well as the in conjunct to Neptune, which is the adjustments bringing into balance. Is this a dream? Is this a lie? Is this just an escape, an illusion? This is the moon in conjunct Neptune, as far as are we sharing the same dream and vision. Then the moon in Libra makes a beautiful supportive air trine flow to the sun in fixed air Aquarius. The element of air, it's light, it flows, it moves. With what you want and need, moon in Libra having the supportive air trine flow to Aquarius. Freedom, independence, be yourself, be your own unique person that you are within a harmonious relationship. Sun, moon, trine. The sun-moon trine with the two luminaries, the mind and the heart, feels really good about having made a decision and brought something into balance. And with the sun in Aquarius connected to this trine, who more than Aquarius is going to say, do your thing, be yourself, be free. This is practically the motto of the sign of Aquarius. Now, right after we have this lovely supportive air trine flow between the sun and the moon goes void of course for about 1 hour. When the moon goes void of course, which is when the moon doesn't make any other aspects before it changes signs, the moon is said to be void of course, off course. In other words, the moon not making any other connections to any of the planets before it changes signs. It's hanging out. It's in the void. It's just out there without connecting. The moon goes void, of course, at 3:24 p.m. Pacific time, and then almost an hour later at 4:19 p.m., the moon goes into its fall placement of the moon in fixed water, Scorpio. When the moon falls into Scorpio, this is the big kerplunk. In other words, the moon in its fall placement of Scorpio is the potential to become very easily discouraged. The feeling of, what's the use? My dream won't come true. Why bother? I don't have what it takes. The moon being the emotional memories and imprints from the mom or whoever the primary caretaker was. The moon gives up, or potentially could give up emotionally, on all of the work you've just done, making the adjustments, bringing things into balance, how to make things peaceful and harmonious. The moon then makes a square aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is the death and then the rebirth, phoenix rising from the ashes. The square is the aspect of let's take action and do something about whatever the situation is that you just recently figured out before the moon went void, of course. The astrological cosmic energy is saying don't do anything. Hold off if you can. The sun is at the ending degree of Aquarius. When we wrap up in a sign at the ending degrees, there is a sense of urgency, almost panic, that we've got to get this right and we have to do something about it right now. With the moon, you're not feeling good about yourself or feeling discouraged or what's the use. That is not a powerful emotional placement to do something right now, especially with the moon square Pluto. Pluto is a very destructive force. You wouldn't want to sabotage, destroy something because of the moon square Pluto impatience and sense of, I've got to rush right in there right now. With the moon in fixed water Scorpio squaring Pluto in fixed air Aquarius, again, two elements of the zodiac that don't easily blend, like the moon in Libra air making an in conjunct to Saturn in Pisces water, a very sudden, unexpected ending disruption could take place. Aquarius is so friendly and easygoing and do your thing, fixed air sign of the zodiac, but push them too far, one time too many, and bye-bye. The rug could be pulled out from underneath you that you didn't see coming at all because it just got pushed too far with the moon In a placement of fear, Moon in Scorpio, discouragement, Moon in Scorpio, and also the potential with the Moon in Scorpio, Scorpio being ruled by Mars, is a very attacking kind of energy. Moon in Scorpio can be overly touchy, overly sensitive, that inner child baby screaming and yelling because it isn't getting its needs met and is afraid that it won't. Ever notice how whenever you feel that impulse to have an important conversation or something along those lines, and you already know, I'm not feeling good about myself today. Should I really have that conversation or that meeting or negotiation when I know Moon in Scorpio? I'm afraid and I'm just in a negative emotional place. I'm lashing out, potentially making sarcastic remarks, whatever it is. When we are in that emotional place and expect a productive, happy, balanced negotiation, again, one time too many with Pluto in Aquarius, Moon square Pluto in Aquarius, and the Sun at the ending degree of Aquarius. Just wait until you feel better and stronger. Have you ever had the, honey, we need to talk, knowing darn well that you're not feeling good, and also knowing with your Moon intuition, this isn't going to end good, and you know it, you feel it before it even begins. Tuesday, February 18th, we have the solar ingress into mutable water Pisces. Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac. Pisces having gone through all of the tests, the trials, the tribulations on the karmic wheel of all the other signs of the zodiac. Pisces, we could say, is truly an old soul. Seen it all, been through it all, done it all. There's nothing like the eyes of a Pisces, because Pisces, no matter how young they are, there's just always this little tinge of pain or sadness in their eyes. They have very emotional, watery eyes, the eyes of a Pisces that they can't hide. You can see that they feel the pain and suffering, and that they have this great compassion and empathy no matter who you are or what you've been through or what you've done. It just shows in their eyes. With the solar ingress into mutable water Pisces, which says, I believe, we look back over the past month or so and see, feel, and experience how the whole planet, the whole world has been traumatized. It truly has been shook, as they say. Aquarius season over the past month or so has brought weather patterns, accidents, just all kinds of things where the whole planetary family, from nature to people to animals, all of us really need this Pisces season right now. Pisces says, I believe, meaning whatever has been happening to you in your life, can you, will you, believe again? Can you, will you get the balance back? And will you, can you, and of course you can, get your confidence back? This Pisces season is about going within, connecting to your prayer, meditation, your spiritual practice. For everyone, that's a unique and individual different thing. For some people, it can be their connection to nature. That's what heals them. That's their form of prayer and meditation. This Pisces season is taking a pause, going within, and knowing that you need and want to believe again. For such a powerful sign of the zodiac, meaning Pisces, they tend to walk very humbly on this earth with their power, knowing, believing that when all is said and done, a higher power has been running the show the whole time. This Pisces season is about believing and knowing, trusting that if you lost something, it's because something better is waiting for you. That whatever you've gone through, trusting and believing like Pisces, knowing that there is a greater lesson to be learned that you couldn't have learned any other way. It had to be the way it was and the way it went down. The solar ingress into Pisces is about slowing down, feeling your feelings, of course, Pisces being a water sign. It's about self-care, mind, body, and soul, taking care of yourself and knowing that everyone is going through it right now in the sense of we've got to heal and get back to center. And this is for the whole planet and everyone and everything that lives on this planet. Pisces and Pisces season is about not judging. Do we ever really know what someone is going through privately in their life? No. One of the reasons why Pisces is compassionate is because they try to understand where the other person and situation, where that is coming from, before jumping to conclusions and making all kinds of judgments that probably aren't true to begin with. Wherever this solar ingress, where the sun is transiting through your personal astrology chart over the next month, this is where you're trying to bring the balance back, trying to make the adjustments as the astrology cosmic energy started off, Moon in Libra in conjunct Saturn in Pisces. So knowing where this takes place in your chart, meaning the month that we have the sun transiting where this is in your personal astrology chart, will put a big light, a big spotlight on where and how you are wanting to bring the balance back in your life. Sun in Pisces transiting through your first house, that's bringing your health and your vitality, your body back into balance. The second house, your money, your resources, your talents and abilities. Third house, your mind. Moon in Libra in conjunct Saturn in Pisces, your thoughts, your thinking, your mind. Fourth house, issues having to do with home, family, relatives, where you live. Fifth house, your children. Also the fifth house is your creativity, bringing that into balance. Also, bringing in the balance of fifth house, having fun, inner child, let your child come out and play. We need to balance that as well, along with all the heavy stuff. Sixth house, bringing the balance back as far as how you are organized, how your life is running smoothly for you. Too much chaos? Sun through the sixth house, bring that back into balance. Sun through the seventh, of course, that's the relationship, the marriage partner. No time, always working, making time for the marriage, the person you're with, bringing that balance back. Sun through the eighth, this has to do with debt, joint finances, bringing balance back into the way your money is merged. Ninth house, this is religion, faith, your philosophy. It's also, if you've become so mentally exhausted and tired, Sun in Pisces through the ninth house is learning something new, going to a higher level of education. Sun through the 10th, well, this is how you're seen in the world, your career, bringing that back into balance. Sun in Pisces through the 11th, haven't seen your friends for a while, your social groups, bringing that into balance. We need friendship. Sun in Pisces through the 12th house, this would be your private time going within spiritual practice, bringing that back into balance. This is just a quick overview, but of course, with your personal astrology chart based on your birth date, time, and place, if you have that, take a look. Where is the Sun in Pisces needing and wanting you to heal and regroup during this Pisces time? I believe that laughter truly is the best medicine. Make it a point, if you will, to find something to laugh about every day, to see the humor in things. That is also healing during this Pisces season. Wednesday, February 19th, we still have the moon in its fall in fixed water, Scorpio. Now, the moon in its fall, the last aspect it makes on the 19th, is an opposition aspect to the planet Uranus in Taurus. Taurus says, I have, this is my stuff. And with the moon making this opposition separation aspect to Uranus and Taurus, this is the healing that can take place from giving away, getting rid of not only clutter, but if you're holding on to things that have an emotional memory. And our stuff, of course, does have emotional memory. This is the moon in Scorpio. Then the things that you may consider releasing, getting rid of at this time, because there's a memory attached to it, but it's the past. Time to let it go now. And this can be a very unsettling aspect. Moon opposition Uranus and Taurus, two fixed signs of the zodiac. In Taurus saying, I have, this is mine, I'm never letting it go. Well, even if you were to just start with one small item in your closet where you're just finally going to take that leap of faith and let it go, ideally bring it to a homeless shelter, give it away, or perhaps someone that needs that coat or jacket or whatever, they can use that. And that begins for them a happy memory because they were gifted with something. The moon in Scorpio opposition Uranus in Taurus, this builds up your confidence and feel good energy with the moon in its fall placement of Scorpio. It doesn't make you feel discouraged to get rid of the clutter and give things away to someone that needs it. It actually makes you feel much better. It's a good emotional vibration and emotion. There's nothing like facing the fear with the moon in Scorpio of letting go of something that we've been holding on to for potentially years, and we're finally going to face that fear, moon in Scorpio, and let it go, release it. Thursday, February 20th, the moon lightens up and enters into immutable fire Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. The moon in Sagittarius wants it all. It's big, it's Jupiterian, over the top. The moon in Sagittarius makes a square aspect to the sun in Pisces, also ruled by Jupiter. Now we are at that cross quarter point where we are moving from fourth quarter to new moon. This inner reflective decreasing time of the moon waning, with the moon in Sagittarius not only making a square to the sun in Pisces, but the moon in Sagittarius making a sextile aspect of opportunity to Pluto in Aquarius. That's a nice blending of air and fire. Mercury in Pisces making a square aspect to Jupiter in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And the moon in Sagittarius making a fire trine flow to Venus in its detriment in the sign of Aries. Now, these aspects today, this astrology cosmic energy, can be real high hopes, but false high hopes. You want to hold on to the feel-good energy of just the moon in Sagittarius, which is comedy. Sagittarius is the clown in the clown of the zodiac. Sagittarius is also gratitude, being so thankful for the things you do have. But if someone is trying to sell you a bill of goods, meaning a lover, Venus in Aries, that wants to come back at this time, look alive there. Be very careful, because now the vibe is with the moon in Sagittarius that can be quite gullible, by the way. Sagittarians are like open-hearted children. There's something very innocent about the sign of Sagittarius. So hold on to the gratitude and joy of the moon in Sag. But if someone's trying to come back into your life, Venus in Aries, that it was horrible the first time, didn't work out the first time, just release it and let that go. Friday, Venus's day, we still have the moon in Sagittarius, and the moon in Sagittarius is a wonderful way to begin the weekend, enter the weekend with being with people, socializing, coming together in friendship, in love with the people that we do love and want to be with. Moon in Sagittarius makes a square aspect to Saturn in Pisces. Then the moon in Sagittarius makes a nice fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries. Moon square Saturn in Pisces is, if you overindulge, that's Saturn in Pisces, that is the block that says you are going to stop at this time with any type of overindulgent escape pattern. The moon in Sagittarius making that fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries is a nice glow, illumination, fire, the excitement of the sense of a whole new you and yourself. That's a confident, I believe, aspect. Saturday, February 22nd, we have the moon in Sagittarius. Its last aspect before it goes void, of course, is the moon in Sag, making a square to Neptune in Pisces, also ruled by Jupiter. A lot of big emotion. This is potentially confusing, murky emotion that you're trying to sort through and compartmentalize and figure it all out. Then the moon goes void, of course, and the moon enters its detriment. The moon enters Capricorn as we close out this week. So there's a big high jump up with the moon in Sagittarius. Don't go overboard. Keep it in check, or that Saturn in Pisces will make you keep it in check. Then we close out the week with the moon going into her detriment, her banishment, the furthest away from her natural home placement. Now, the way to prepare for this cosmic energy is, first of all, to be aware that the moon in her exile in Capricorn is trying to find its way home. Home being you connected to your emotional body, the moon, how you feel. The other thing about the moon in Capricorn, and one basic thing is with the moon in Capricorn that has starvation, poverty consciousness, make sure there's plenty of food in the house for the weekend. Sounds simple, but it is very effective with the moon in Capricorn. The other thing, though, is that with the moon in Capricorn, this can be a wonderful time of healing with the sun in Pisces. When you get in touch with not only your emotional body, but when you become connected to how you have taken on the responsibility for the feelings of others. Capricorn is very sure-footed, loves to do the work. You can count on them at their best, very responsible, Capricorn. But when the moon is in Capricorn, when the moon is the furthest away, there's a difference between being a responsible person as opposed to feeling like you are responsible for the actions of others. You're not, and this is a huge astrological issue with the moon in Capricorn, where the emotional imprints that go back to infancy is that the responsibility of whatever was going on with the family, with your mom, with the caretakers, that the emotional imprint was that it was your responsibility as a baby, as an infant, to be responsible for the others, their actions, their emotions, all of it. So know where you are responsible for yourself, of course, as we are, as opposed to where you have taken on the burden, the responsibility for things that were never yours to carry to begin with. These things that we're chatting about today aren't easy to do, but I would offer the opinion that at this time they're necessary to do. At least some of it, if you can. Because again, the whole world during Aquarius season experienced the Aquarius sudden and abrupt 180 changes. We were fixed in a certain mindset, fixed air Aquarius, and then again, it just seems like in the space of about a month, the world, life, the planet got turned upside down. And that can be a shock to the body, mind, and spirit. So as we are in this Pisces season, again, I would offer from an astrological cosmic energy that wherever and however you do what it takes to get back to center and heal and believe and get your confidence back, try not to judge it. Try to see it as the bigger picture lesson and that you're being moved towards something better. Then these are some offerings I can give to you as far as how to maneuver and what we could be doing during this Pisces season time. The quote I made at the beginning of this episode, this podcast, the essence of strategy is knowing what not to do. In other words, there is a time to move forward, but there is also a time to just plan and think and strategize without having to make the move right now. That is this time astrologically during our month with the solar ingress and other things, of course, but with the solar ingress in the sign of Pisces. Be really good to yourself. Self-care. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all in the stars.